Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those specialty spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 3 at the moment. You can head back in the playlist to find them. And today's spell is Web. Second level Conjuration, casting time for 1 action, range of 60 feet, components herbal semantic material, a bit of spider web, duration concentration up to 1 hour. You conjure a mass of thick, sticky webbing at a point you choose within range. The web fills a 20-foot cube from that point for the duration. The webs are difficult terrain and lightly obscure the area. If the webs aren't anchored between two solid masses, such as walls or trees, or layered across a floor, wall, or ceiling, the conjured webs collapse on itself, and the spell ends at the start of your next turn. The webs layered over a flat surface have a depth of 5 feet. Each creature that starts its turn in the webs or that enters them during its turn must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the creature is restrained as long as it remains in the webs or until it breaks free. Creature restrained by the webs can use its action to make a strength check against your spell save DC. If it succeeds, it is no longer restrained. The webs are flammable. Any 5-foot cube of webs exposed to fire burns away in 1 round, dealing 2d4 fire damage for any creature that starts its turn in the fire. You could say a sticky situation now. Okay, that's actually a big area. 20-foot cube does actually need to connect to the things. You can't just have it flat on the ground. I mean, you can, but it's likely going to sink after that and just end the spell. Also kept the burn condition, which Grease lost. Shame there for Grease, but not bad for Web. Only 1 round and 2d4, but still, 2d4. Though you can still shoot through it, it is lightly obscured, so anything stealthing or trying to run away behind it might have a better chance of doing that. And then also, the fact that even if you can move through it through passing the dex save, it is still difficult terrain. And a 20-foot cube of difficult terrain. Remember that. 20-foot cube. You're likely not going to make it through that on your first turn without dashing, or unless you have other speed boosts of some kind, comparing the average speed. But the big thing's the restrained condition. That is not bad. That is really good to then begin pelting people with that. And it's not them just walking into it. It's also when you initially cast them on that. And it's again, 20-foot cube. It's a lot bigger than I remembered. I thought it was 10-foot cube. Concentration kind of sucks. So if you're fighting a larger group of creatures that you're not just gonna immediately fit in that 20-foot cube, or you're not in a hallway where that can also block things, you might debatably use other spells. But for second level, for a restrained condition on multiple targets and a lightly obscured and difficult terrain in a 20-foot cube, if you're in the right situation or in the right battlefield where it's not just an open battlefield, dungeons essentially. We're talking about dungeons and caves. That's pretty good. Because then if they have a restrained condition, you can just wail on them because it's not a strength save to get out or to resist. It's a dex save to resist the initial casting of it when we're heading through it. But to break out, it's an entire action from the creature and it's a strength check. Not a save, not an athletics check, just a strength check. That's gonna hurt a lot of characters and a good amount of monsters. You know, the small swarming dexterous ones that are likely to be caught up in this web most. And while the section of webbing is burned 5-foot cube at a time, that's out of a 20-foot cube. Each cube doing 2d4 when it burns after 1 round and the other is still remaining. So if you have a large creature or something even larger stuck in that 20-foot cube taking up multiple 5-foot by 5-foot cubes, when those burn, it'll take 2d4 for each of them as it's still stuck in the web. 60-foot in action, and the big thing's second level. That is not bad. It's really not. That's for the restrained condition on a 20-foot cube. I guess the only issue is the fact that you need anchor points. So it is kind of limited to hallways, dungeons, caves, but guess what game you're playing? Dungeons and Dragons, which the latter you might be able to trap in this if they're in the former. But for enemy control spells, just throwing off, because when you're an enemy, or a DM running an enemy, concentration isn't too valuable, not as much as it is for a player, but having an entire NPC spellcaster, low level, because it's only second level, cast web, like on a horde of goblins, have a goblin shaman or spellcaster of some kind that can handle casting up to second level spells of the appropriate class for this. Again, just being able to cast this on an adventuring party coming into the goblin cave, everyone's gonna swarm them. Even if they can't reach them all the way with it, short bows, daggers, rocks that they're just throwing, or other reach weapons that they have at hand, setting it on fire afterwards. And then the obvious one, Drought. You know, for the spider theming, but still, decent option. Especially for a spell or a group that's based around capturing people, having an entire spell of a 20-foot cube dedicated to restraining, not bad. Because that's the other thing with restrained, you could attempt to force, well no, that's There are manacles as a base item in the game, nets as well. There isn't any solid ruling for like, yeah, here's how you cuff someone. But you could definitely use this as a virtual large net. And honestly has a way better save and check to break out of it than the base net and the items. And sure, no upcast, but it's not doing any damage and is already a pretty large area. The thing against it is the limited area where it can actually be used to its maximum or to its... In an open battlefield, it's not going to be good. Not that good. I mean, yeah, you'll have a net briefly, but if it doesn't have anything to hang on to, it's going to fall in one round. But even then, in an open battlefield, that's still potentially less commitment to concentration, because you know it's only going to last one round. And that's one round of restrained and difficult terrain. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised by it. Just forgot all of its details. 8 out of 10. 7 out of 10. 8 out of 10. 7 out of 7. 7, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. 8 out of 10. Concentration hurts it. It's cheap enough, though. It's second level. 60-foot range, pretty decent. 20-foot area, limited to kind of tunnels or at least forests or woods or things vertical nearby. But if you are in that exact environment, it's not a bad case for anyone like, let's say, a city guard or some kind of magic guard trying to stop a prisoner and they don't want to hurt them. There's the sleep option, but sleep runs into the issue of, hit dice. Hypnotic pattern, but that's only one save. Or they can easily break out of it after, or someone can shake them. When it comes to web, they gotta make that strength check. This doesn't even allow the option of someone to pull you out. It's you using your action. Especially like in an alleyway, inside a basement, some kind of smuggling ring. It's not that bad. And then also the drow capturing sample or goblin ambush. It can be used. Same thing for hunting when it came to the sleep as well. Second level. It's not that much higher. Oh, and then the burning on larger targets in it. Ooh, those 2d4 add up. Especially since there's no save. 8 out of 10. It's web.